I will get right to the point, without long prefaces. Because, as the great Russian poet Lermontov wrote, in every book the preface is the first and at the same time the last thing, but people do not read prefaces because they are badly brought up. Since the time of Michael Lermontov, little has changed, except that almost no one reads books now, because a more comfortable format for obtaining information has come into place: video. So, rich people, looking into my eyes, tell me frankly, who does not want to be rich? Under capitalism, wealth gives almost everything that money can buy. And money can buy everything, not only something material. As one prankster said, everything can be bought, it's just a matter of price. So what matters here is only price, nothing more. Indeed, when you are rich, you do what you want, not what you have to do. You drive the car you want, you dine in restaurants, whatever you want. You go on trips, whatever you want, but not to those that are just cheaper. If you are a rich man, it doesn't matter that you have a double belly and a triple chin, that you are bald and with wrinkles everywhere. The vagina of almost any woman on this planet is open to you. What matters here is only price. If you are a woman, then all the most expensive things in the world will be provided for you. The most exquisite bags, clothes, accessories, perfume, jewelry, and of course cosmetics. Well, and all sorts of methods of prolonging youth, of course. Why do people need a beautiful body? For sex, of course, just for sex. If you are rich, then you, even being the last degenerate, are unlikely to hear words of criticism in your address. And if you do, then, if you wish, you can always close the mouth that croaks at you. And if desired, even close it forever. What matters here, as we remember, is only price. If you want to become a PhD without writing a single scientific article, a warm welcome. They will write the whole thesis to you and bring everything on a platter. The main thing is to pay for the service. If you want to become a president of a country, it's already more difficult. But it is also possible. What matters here is only price. Do you always want to eat black caviar for breakfast, freshly caught crabs for lunch, and human meat with a glass of fresh blood for dinner? You're welcome. What matters here is only price. Any whim, any caprice, any madness, the world is ready to provide you with all this if you have money to pay for it, a lot of money. And now, knowing what a modern person is, a contemporary man, human being, knowing his limitations, his ignorance, his lack of spirituality, let's ask ourselves, is a modern person capable of bearing the burden of big money? Can he bear it with dignity, so as not to soil your soul, but to elevate it, so as not to acquire even heavier karma, but to get rid of the existing one? Is he capable of living his life in such a way that when he dies, the whole world will cry and he alone will laugh? What do you think? Capable or not? My answer is no, not capable. 1,000,000% no. If we remember why a person lives on this planet, what is the purpose of life of any person, no matter in which nation, race, and social level he was born, then, as all the scriptures say without exception, the purpose of a human being is to please God with his life and move after the death of the biological body to a higher level of existence. Move to the world where the souls pleasing to God dwell. Yes, you heard right. To the world where the souls pleasing to God live. In the world in which we live, most souls are not pleasing to God, for they do not love God and do not want to know God. It is not God who doesn't love them, but they don't love Him. But what do they like? What do they love? What they love is sleep, food, and sex. Well, of course, entertainment and money. By the way, I want to assure you, just a small digression, that there are no atheists. As far as I know, they really don't exist on this planet now. I know a lot of people who pray to God from morning till night, and the name of this God is money. All their thoughts are obsessed with one thing: money. How to earn more, how to multiply what you have already earned, how to invest, what to buy, what to sell, how to save it, how not to lend it when it is asked for, how to get everything you want with it, that is to maximum possible level, but paying at the same time to the minimum, and so on. For the sake of money, people make great sacrifices and self-restraint. Sometimes and even often they commit crimes. Crimes are committed both against the law and, what is more terrible, against conscience. In this damn world, there is no power more attractive and desirable than the power of big money. This is the god of the world. Everything you see around you comes from just how much money is invested in it. Where there is little money, there are many problems. Where there is much money, there are much fewer problems, if they exist at all. No language in the world conveys the essence of things with such accuracy as the Russian language. In the Russian language, God and wealth are words of the same root. Bog for God and bogatstvo for wealth. That is what you need to figure out. Why is that? We understand it this way. There are two interpretations, and both are correct and complement each other. First, a rich person is someone who has a lot of God inside. There is the one who is rich in God. He is a holy, righteous man who has devoted his life to the service of the Almighty, to the service of the Great Mother. Such a person glows from within, and a reflection of another world lies on his face, God's world. The second interpretation. As people of this world worship the golden calf, the rich man is the one who has a lot of gold. As gold, in the terminology of our days, is represented by money, hence a rich man is that who has a lot of money. The second interpretation is historically correct, but false in essence, as it replaces the true God with a false one, the eternal and living God with the fake and temporary one. I know quite a lot of rich people who have been worshipping the golden calf all their lives, but they themselves do not give the impression of happy and satisfied people. Something is constantly wrong, something hurts, does not give them peace of mind. Problems and their quantity never allow them to completely relax. They are always forced to control everything. They are constantly tense. They run somewhere, go, fly, until death swats them during the flight, like a mosquito. Clap, and there is no joke. So, therefore, if there are practically no people rich in God, and there are many rich in money, then how can we correct this incorrectness, this historical error, this, how to put it mildly, a delusion? How can those who are rich in the wrong God be led to the right one? How can we make a genuine spiritual transformation of humanity, a genuine revolution in consciousness? The Mother of Gods, the great goddess Kali, graciously gives a solution to the contradiction that has arisen. In order for those who are rich in false to become rich in true, they need to consciously use their wealth to multiply spirituality in this world. First of all, it is the construction of temples to genuine gods, to the great Mother Kali and her divine forms, as well as to Shiva and Vishnu, the greatest gods responsible for the destruction and maintenance of all processes in the universe. The more temples there are in front of people's eyes, the more often they will see them, the more often they will think about what they see. If they think, they will talk about it, and if they talk, they will act in the right direction. How to please God, not your worms. As I have mentioned more than once, what you look at is what you turn into. If you look at pigs, you'll become a pig. You look at demons, and you'll be a demon. If you look at gods, you will be a god. This is an ancient law. And if someone tells me that the goddess Kali, the gods Vishnu and Shiva are not ours, they are Hindu, then I will tell such people that these gods are the most Russian. They had always been Russians until a few centuries ago. social parasites came to power in the world. Let's call them so succinctly, without going into details, and they replaced the truth with a crooked one. Thanks to the Hindus. Thank you very much. They have preserved the Vedic knowledge of the white race due to their inertia and tendency to preserve everything, both bad and good. Just as the Chinese are not able to create anything but are brilliant at copying what they didn't create and producing what they copied, so the Hindus are genuine masters at preserving the traditions and knowledge of long-gone generations. Besides, I think it's not even worth mentioning that any division of gods into nations and cultures is the deepest manifestation of ignorance. The gods are universal, and they don't care what country you live in and what language you use. They will come to the devotee wherever he is, whatever culture he belongs to, and whatever language he uses. So, the way for the rich to get rid of bad karma and to obtain favorable posthumous existence lies through the sacrifice of their wealth to the true God. The essence of this God is pure spirituality, the shining light of truth. For the multiplication of spirituality, and therefore the multiplication of the presence of gods in this world, it is necessary to create centers for the education of spirituality in people. Temples have been and remain such centers in all epochs. Don't build hospitals. No hospital has ever cured anyone of mental and especially spiritual diseases. In ordinary hospitals, only biological bodies are treated, which are just vessels for souls, no more. It is necessary to treat the cause of the disease, and the cause of any disease lies in a spiritless life. I repeat, the cause of absolutely any disease is in a spiritless life. The rich people of our time are very stupid. They think they own something. How can this be? They don't even own their own lives, let alone their wealth. Do they make their heart work and their kidneys and liver perform their functions? All this happens by the will of the Almighty. All the wealth of this world, everything and absolutely everything belongs to the Almighty, belongs to God. But these stupid people think that this is their house, their car, their business. God can take it away at any time, because it is all His. It is by His will that they were born, by His will that they have material things in abundance. I want to convey the message of the great Mother Kali to the rich people of the world. Your task, the rich, is to use your wealth to create conditions for everyone else, so that they, the rest, can have a spiritual life. To do this, it is necessary to build temples, finance the publication of spiritual literature, and open centers for the comprehensive, harmonious development of the individual. The goal of rich people is to make the whole planet a blooming garden, not just their own garden next to their own house. By doing this, rich people will fulfill their dharma, the order of the Almighty, which means they will become rich by God. By helping the world, they will actually help themselves. The negative karma accumulated by them will decrease in direct proportion to the number of benefits they have performed. Therefore, in another life, whether on this planet or in another world, they will be rich. They will be rich because they have proved in this life that they are worthy of the trust of the Almighty, worthy of His love. If they do not listen and continue to use the resources given to them by God only for the benefit of themselves and their family, then their subsequent life or several subsequent lives will be spent in poverty, illnesses, and deprivation, that is, in suffering. For a life based on selfishness, you will have to pay a high price. This is the Mother's message. Understand. Nothing belongs to you in this world, even your own body. You can't control it. It is getting old, and surely death will come to you. Don't even doubt it. When you leave this body and the next birth, you will forget all this current earthly life. You will forget everything. The memory will be absolutely clean, like a piece of paper. But karma will not forget you. You will have to work it out, whether you want it or not. And my appeal concerns not only the rich, it also applies to people of average income and to people who are poor in material terms. I know quite a lot of poor people who are greedy, and all this is multiplied by ignorance, a truly explosive mixture. Everything I said for the rich also applies to the non-rich. If they, who are not rich, do not lead a spiritual life and do not worship the gods and the Great Mother, they will continue to get bogged down in poverty and bad karma. You need to train yourself to share, because again you have nothing. Everything belongs to God, starting from your life and ending with your possessions. God wants you to share, because by sharing you become like Him. The Almighty gives you the warmth of the sun, water, and air, gives you life in a biological body, the opportunity to comprehend what is good and what is bad. He gives you life in all its diversity. God is absolutely not selfish. He gives everything He has. If you use and do not give anything in return, you become a debtor. Debts need to be repaid. Whether you want it or not, you will have to return it. You can't deceive God. His all-seeing eye, omnipresent hands, and a sword in these hands will find everyone. Do not even doubt. Therefore, I urge everyone who has received God's grace and who is watching this video to think, do you share enough with the outside world what you have? I want to tell you about an amazing woman, one of the few who have properly disposed of their wealth. Her name is Rani Rashmani. Widowed at the age of 43 and having 4 daughters, she nevertheless did not lose heart, but she began to use the finances available to the family for the benefit of society. Running her deceased husband's business, she donated money to the National Library of India, helped poor fishermen, and was involved in many charitable works. She spent almost ₹1 million, colossal money at the time, on the construction of the most majestic temple dedicated to the goddess Kali. This temple was built by Rani in Dakshineshwar exclusively with her own money. Until now, it attracts hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world every year, making their lives more spiritual. When Rani was building the temple, she did not think that she was taking money away from her family, from her 4 daughters. On the contrary, she correctly believed that by building the temple of the Great Mother, she creates good karma for her daughters and also helps millions of people to gain the opportunity to receive the help of the Great Mother Kali. Her name is still revered all over the world. As you may see, I am telling you about her, and now you know her through me. And this too is very favorable for her soul. Therefore, you can also become like the right sort of people and start doing the right things by donating to the construction of a temple for the Mother Goddess. A warm welcome to the website that will be in the link under the description of this video. The bank details for your donations are there. Thank you.